we must constantly review the methods by which we are doing the delivery of justice. That is where our IECMS comes in. We must continue reviewing the methods by which we are delivering justice. And some of the methods I tell you now have become anachronistic. They are obsolete. But we hold on to them because that is what we know. But here we have now the technology that is now opening the key. That is the key. We all went through this training. And the most important thing you realized was, if you can do what this training has imparted in us, there will be efficiency. There will be definitely efficiency. There will be clarity of procedure. There will be time management. There will be less cost. And you can see we are not going to be spending hours and hours listening to people telling us stories. We are not. Because we can manage their speech. We can control their speech. They don't have to be coming to us just to come and watch, and we are together in a courtroom. We can deal with them through virtual hearings, conferencing. And they don't have to travel and spend all the money. And we are able to reach even the poor by this system. But most importantly, we are able to maintain our dignity. That's very important. We are able to maintain the dignity of ourselves as judicial officers. Because it's not easy to approach a judge in a setup of this nature and try to corrupt that judge. And it's not easy for the judge who is corruption-minded to do it without being detected. So we will find out. And so the system itself, and we must emphasize, the system itself is an inherent disciplinary function. For us to be in this system, we will be disciplined. We have to be disciplined because we appreciate what this function is all about. So, Minister, Honorable Minister, we are really grateful that your ministry has placed itself timelessly where we need it most. And your coming into this procedure, into this program, ensures, in fact, that the IECMS, which is a massive project, it's a national project, it's a government project. We must make it very clear, it's not a Judicial Service Commission project. I think there may have been some misconceptions about it. It's a national government project. This is a project deliberately undertaken by the judiciary in recognition of the transformative objective of the judiciary. If many people have not realized, I'll say it now, the judiciary has been undergoing transformation. Judiciary has been going reform right for the past 4 or 5 years. Those who have not noticed it will begin to see it. The judiciary is transforming in a large scale. We are not just transforming in terms of provision of service, the quality of service, the quality of courts, the ambience of the courts, the closeness of the courts to the people. We are transforming even the way we look. We are transforming the way we look. If you look at it, those who can see, we have changed the gowns. We are changing the gowns. There are a lot of things taking place. We are changing the manner we think. We now think in terms of technology. We are thinking in modern terms. We are transforming, we are modernizing the judiciary. And that is why we are training. Because we want a new judge. We want a new judge. Let us leave that judge, very slow judge, the pen judge. We want a computer judge. That is why we are saying we must be seeing very soon these judges now who will be sitting there with all their laptops, doing things that they, in the past few years, they thought it was a privilege of their children. But there we are. We have joined our children, and we must take leadership of our children. Otherwise, if we leave our children lead us, where will we be tomorrow? So it's critical with this IECMS that is very important for the government to provide the resources for the judiciary. That is why I spoke like that at the beginning of the opening of the legal year. It was deliberate. It is deliberate because the Constitution is very clear. Government must provide resources to the judiciary. It's a simple obligation, and government is doing that to a large extent. I know you Minister, you have already indicated there will be computers coming. I may thank you in advance. I was actually advised today that we are intending giving computers to the JSC. And we thank you very much for that. Because that is what is an obligation of government. We cannot talk as JSC about success of this project without government support. It's impossible. And that is why it's so critical. Your coming here just goes to show the kind of cooperation that the judiciary is seeking out with other institutions of government. The judiciary is part of government. It's not an institution standing on its own. Because if we act like that, as judges, it's very important in the judiciary to think we are not separate from other institutions of government. We are all created equal. We are all children of the Constitution. And the Constitution deliberately created all these institutions of government for specific purpose, to serve the people. So we are having the same objective with all the other institutions. Whether it's the Ministry of ICT, we are together. So let us view this thing in the context of the National Development Goal number 1. It's very important for us to locate ourselves in there. Otherwise, we stand there as if we are isolated. And that's dangerous. Because you need all constitutional institutions of government to be strong. Institutions of government must be strong. You can't have an institution of government that is weak and expect you expect to be complying with the Constitution. The Constitution says institutions of government must be strong. They must be strong. So if judges continue with poor working conditions, that eats into the strength of this institution. It weakens the institution. And once you weaken an institution, you allow other forces to take it over. It becomes a pretended institution, a shell of an institution. It becomes an institution for manipulation, for corruption. It's being corrupted by the stronger people because you have allowed it to be like that. You have weakened it. So they will take it over and use it for their own purposes. It will no longer be for the purpose of the people. It will no longer be for constitutional means. It's now serving the powerful. It's serving the corrupt. And that's the end of the institutions. And that's when now government becomes no government. So this is critical, but we have had a number of judges coming through here. And in fact, the statistics show, Honorable Minister, that this training has been so important and has been so enthusiastically embraced by the judiciary, and I'm happy to say that as the head of the judiciary, that people have embraced this, they have embraced the IECMS. So for the past 5 years, we're talking about this. For 5 years, we're talking about trying to conscientize people. There was a bit of resistance. You will meet resistance everywhere, Minister. And I hope that when you are fighting it out there as Ministry of ICT, fight it. Fight it. Yes. Because there are people who will try and resist for their own interests. And you'll be fighting a lot of resistance. We did. We have been fighting and we are continuing to fight. And now we have reached a stage now where we have said no one is going back. No one is going back. In the judiciary, we are not going to allow anybody who's pretending he can perform and go on without knowledge of computers. We are not. So if you want to remain in the Judicial Service Commission, in the judicial service, you must acquire the skill. It's a professional requirement, it's professional competence.